I'm more of like a non-confrontational type of person, and I just like hated it, and it forced me to grow.
My baby is my greatest blessing, but she's also the biggest change I've ever experienced in my life.
Old lady cleaning the bathroom, and we're just like, oh, we got a maid, you know, like you're not my roommate. She was my roommate.
I do need for him to, you know, be able to control his emotions and control himself and not just want to pop off.
To know that you got me. If something goes down, I don't need you pushing me towards the danger.
I don't know if it was like a big lizard or a little iguana.
It got me. It ate me. We're done because I'm passed out.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Melanated Opinion. I'm Shanita.
I'm Takara.
I'm Crystal. What up, peoples? And today we have a special guest. You can see him. His name is Marlon. He's my friend. I've known him ever since I've been in Texas, which has been a long time. He has been in a spiritual community for 20 years, and he's going to just have some talk with us today. So you want to say hello, Marlon? Anything you want to say first?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey.
My name is Marlon.
Welcome.
Pretty
right,
good.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, that's good. I know we're going to have a good show. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is that we've been seeing like a lot of trend talking about manifesting, like, and I know you have a lot of information on it. Like what are your thoughts on the trend and just manifesting itself? Like, what do you think about it?
Okay, so I mean, manifestation is it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about it. It's kind of like the going trend, you know. Everybody say, "Oh, I'm manifestation. I'm manifesting." You know, it's very difficult concepts. So a lot of people, especially people that don't have a large knowledge base, coming out and saying it with the whole woke thing. I mean, it's just a thing that you're saying, and you know, it's not necessarily something that's actually happening. You know, you're not manifesting, you're not changing your destiny. You know, that's extremely hard. I mean, that's not a, you know, I know they kind of throw it around a lot, but that's no, they not manifesting. They only, you know, they can believe they are, you know, but they're only going through cause and effect. You know, you doing something, which creates another action, you know, creating an effect by your actions. As far as manifesting, uh, probably 99% of people that say they're doing it, that's not happening. It's only coming about from their own actions. So no.
So what's the difference in the cause and effect and actual manifesting? So cause and effect is that they're putting in work and they're getting the outcome, and manifesting means you're not putting in the work. Is that what you're saying?
No, you can put in work, but manifesting is more of like everybody has a set path, and using a spiritual energy to kind of move things around. It's kind of akin to alchemy, like kind of the art of transformation, like transforming, like using energy to shift your reality to something else without having the normal roadblocks that you would have, being able to clear roadblocks and stuff like that. Let me give you an example. Let's just say you had a credit score of 540, and they say, I want to get a house. And, you know, a certain spiritual person, they will still be able to get the house. Whereas normally you'd be blocked. You're not going to be able to get a house with a credit score of 540 and not making enough money to afford the house. It's just something that's not going to happen. So when you manifest it, it's like being able to clear blockages, but to where you would be able to get the house and still have a credit score of 540 and wouldn't understand how it happened. It's something like that. Something that you shouldn't have been able to do with all case and purposes. If somebody look at it and be like, I don't know how you got this, but you must be pretty lucky. And you was, doing your meditations and trying to bring it about that way. I mean, of course, there are other things you got to apply for the loan to get it. That goes without saying. They're not just gonna call you, hey, I got a house for you. So.
All right. So I have a question. To me, I was trying to understand your definition of manifesting, but for me, it sounds so much similar to like somebody having faith. So what's the difference in someone having faith that this is going to happen and you don't know how it's going to happen, and manifesting? Is it the same thing or is it different?
Well, I mean, you could say it's kind of the same. Faith is more of a Christian aspect where people say, I got faith in it. That's more of a Christian aspect, but it's just, basically now you're just kind of getting into whatever word you want to use. See, you can do that, or you can have enough faith and enough energy and focus on something, hard enough to get it and clear a block that you shouldn't normally be able to clear. So I mean, but most people manifest things haphazardly.
What do you mean?
Most people just like by coincidence, they manifest negative things, positive things. If you say like, if you know how you've been around some people say, yeah, this something always happens to me, or I always get a ticket when I'm coming over here. Every time I'm coming over your house, I always get a ticket or I get stopped or something happens. And they every time you see them, they'll say that. But one of the reasons that's happening is because they keep saying it and they believe it and they kind of will it into existence. So having faith about something, it's kind of like the same thing. You're just going about it from a Christian aspect, which, I mean, you could do that. Just like I said, a lot of people manifest things haphazardly, just without them knowing about it or thinking about it. And most of those things tend to be negative things. But when people do it by faith, like the older ladies and the church ladies, so they used to do, when they do it by faith, then they're doing it in a more focused way. They're just saying, I'm doing it by faith. It's just a difference of words, but it's the same practice,
Okay.
That makes sense?
A little, but not really. I mean, I get what you're saying. I guess for me, I'm thinking it's like the same thing. But you're saying choice of words, but continue.
I mean, it's faith, and you just kind of getting into more of a wordplay, but kind of the process is the same. But it still has to be some kind of a spiritual energy behind it and a will to do it. So I mean, it's the same thing. It can be the same thing. Let me say that. It can be the same thing if you doing the process the same way, but you just calling it faith. If you taking your time if you got your focus is attuned on it and you're working towards it, this is something you want to do. It's just about impossible for it to happen because of the circumstances you're in, but you still doing it. It's like some people I have seen, several people do it and they say, that's because of Jesus got that done. Jesus got that done. But it's still same manifestation. It's just saying that it's that they feel like Jesus helped them do it, but they the ones that's bringing it about. Just like I said, most people manifest haphazardly.
Okay, so would the difference be for me to understand it? It seemed like you're saying, like with faith, we're believing that God is the one that's, blessing
Yeah,
us, whatever it is. But when you're manifesting it, you're saying you're doing it in your own strength. Like you're responsible for whatever happened. Is that right?
yeah. It's just a matter of who getting the credit. Yeah,
Okay, got
that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, when people are putting it out there, I don't think they're really like trying to paying attention to like what's the afterwards, like, how is this happening or any of that. People are just like, yep, it's this word that I heard and I wanted to come to me, and none of the other stuff actually matters as long as I get what I want.
Yeah, basically, because I saw this girl like on the Kevin Samuels show. This was a while back, and she was like had a couple of children by a couple of different guys, still living at home with her mama, broke. She was like, yeah, I'm manifested it. I manifested this. I was like, okay, it's just sometimes people just throw the word around. Or it's just like somebody say, well, I got faith, so and so, or Jesus gonna get me out of this house, and I'm gonna get a house, and I'm doing all that. And sometimes people just saying it. It's just something they just saying. They really don't understand how it's working, or what it takes.
Shanita, was you finna say something?
Oh, well, no, I was just saying, it's a series I just finished watching. It's called A Manifest. But with that, it's like kind of still total different. So that's why I'm like, is because for them, they had like callings. So like they get a call in and then it directs them to something to save someone. But it's like, I don't know how to explain. It's on Netflix. It's really, really good. But it's like basically they were on an airplane, the airplane disappeared, and then it reappeared 5 years later. So everybody in the airplane is the same age that they were in 5 years, but everyone in the real world, they age, they change. And so everyone that was on that missing airplane, they get like call-ins and like they'll hear something or they'll see pictures. And then once they follow the call-in, it's pretty much saving someone's life. But it's called The Manifest. So is that something totally
I
different?
think they was okay. I think they was more talking about the manifest where the plane has a manifest. I never saw the show, so I could be wrong. I thought they was talking about more of the plane's manifest and who was on the flight, like these certain amount of people, certain people that were on the flight, because that's what they call the flight log, the manifest.
Oh, mm-mm. I know that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
So you just said something, Marlon, that was interesting. So you said you were watching Kevin Samuels, and so I guess I feel like maybe he's misunderstood. So like when you watch him, like what do you feel like you're getting out of watching him?
uh, I mean, I understand most of the stuff he was talking about. For me, at this point, I'm married. It was just entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Most of the stuff he was correct, and it was kind of shocking just how woman after woman would call up and basically be asking the same questions, and they couldn't believe what he was saying. But I mean, just based on the outcomes that they was getting, I don't see why they couldn't see that.
But because it was like the same people that kept calling, you don't think it was kind of what is it, planned or
I don't think so.
structured?
I mean, it was a
Structured.
lot of different people.
Well, it sounds like it may have been like structured in a way that they would only take calls from certain people so it could have the same, like have the same effect, look the same way if it's the same type of people calling. No?
Yeah, probably because it was the same type of people calling. I don't think he kind of. I don't think he like planned it out. But I mean, certain kind of women are pretty easy to read. Like when you, like people say, women have a sixth sense. I mean, most men we have it too. It's just a matter if it's developed or not. I mean, certain women are very easy to read because I mean, it's a lot goes into that. As far as so I
So,
mean, could
so
he
give us an
read the women
example.
just by looking at them? I mean, most likely, yeah.
Give us an example. What you mean?
Well, like how men read women. Well, I mean, we can generally, as you get, the older you get, you can tell a woman that's probably, been with a lot of guys. Most men, they don't even know that's what they doing. Or a woman that's not, she kind of easy. Generally we can tell, especially the guys that's kind of been around and, been around a lot of different women and, had a lot of guy conversations and been, and, taught how to know how to talk to women. Most of the Pookies and the Ray Rays, just say that. So yeah, we can tell the woman that's kind of she been around a lot of guys, and she
So give
So
us
kind
what
of
an
is
been
that?
example.
around.
But but what is that an indication of, that she's been around a lot of guys? What is that saying about her?
What you mean, like whether she's had sex with a lot of different guys, or that she might be
But what
kind
is
of
that
easy?
saying about her?
What you mean? In what sense? That she's kind of easy.
So you said you can tell, or pick up on the fact that she's had a lot of partners.
Yeah,
Is that make her different in some way than a woman who's had less partners?
yeah.
In what way?
Uh, a woman that had less partners, her her field the field of her is a lot cleaner. It's not heavy. It's not dense. So in certain Yoruba, in certain practices, spiritual African practices, you say Yoruba. They call it, when you have sex with somebody, they call it exchanging ashe. So it's an energy exchange. Women absorb energy more than men. It's even been proven scientifically. It's a study that they did. I forgot at what college they did it. You can Google it. Back in 2017, they found, and a lot of these studies they don't tell the general public. They find it and they'll keep it to themselves. They found DNA laid up in the brains of women. DNA from different men. At first, they tried to say, well, maybe it's the DNA of the child. But then they found it amongst women with no children. So at this point, now they know what it is. And a lot of times they just don't come out and say it. Yeah, so the DNA was laid up in the brain. I forgot what they call it, micro something, but you can look it up. It was a study done in 2017. So when a woman has sex with a man, it's a physical exchange of the DNA, and it's a spiritual exchange. And the DNA is laid up in the brain. That's why the old ladies used to say, you got that man on the brain. And a lot of times, a woman that's been through a lot, first thing she'll do is cut her hair off. Because and it's probably because of I assume it's because of the irritation. You get it. It's just irritating, and your body is trying to get rid of the cells because DNA is, and you take on. That's another reason why couples start to look alike, and you take on the traits of who you sleep with. You lie down with dogs. They say you lie down with dogs, you get up with fleas, and